So I wanted to follow up this video that you hopefully just watched with a shorter video and just some additional content, because from the time this was recorded, because when I sat down today I had actually intended to re-record this video, but as I re-watched it I felt like it did a really good job talking about the carbon footprint, talking about the importance of writing code, the discussions and the replies and all that. So I'm going to leave that because I think it's good, but I want to add the following. One thing that students from last semester was when I talked about the code review, many of the students felt like that was actually just a place to come in and get help and ask questions about code, but it's actually not. This is a test. It's worth 20% of your score. And yes, when you come in, I could ask you questions. I could give you a code, like code this up, code this concept, or so the more you're coding, on your own and then getting help when you're in need of it, the more this experience will, and because it is just kind of intimidating even when you first hear it. But the idea is that you're going to come into a session and you will have 20% of your grade come from how well you do in this session. Okay, and the way you do well is you do the work as we've talked about, because that's the thing, is this week you experience the code alongs and the discussions. But the thing that you don't get to experience yet, and that's why I talked about it here, was the dev work and the code review, right? And that's because, and I pulled up the schedule just so you'd see it for this semester, is that code review pretty much shows up right here at week 10, because you'll have done your first step and it's a decision app that you end up writing, and as far as the code, there's nothing you won't have already seen in what we've done before, but it's really about learning to code something somewhat on your own. You absolutely can get help, but that's the thing that I use generally for your code review, in addition to other things that we've covered in the class. Last semester, I asked students to give advice. And so this advice, I think I read through it today, is really, really helpful. I definitely suggest you take a minute and listen, go through here, because this is advice from students who passed. I had the highest, and this is something I'm really excited to say, the highest pass rate in my coding class last semester, and that's why this feedback to you I felt was really, really important. Okay, so I wanted to go over those things in this video. I talked about, I wanted you to give me any questions you have about that. And the reason I created the second one was because I felt like students didn't, and I must not have done a good job explaining that. So I wanted to say to you, not as a way to make it nervous for you, but just to help you understand the importance of it. So the window opens, let me just finish this. The window opens here. You will have until the end of the semester to complete it. The challenge is the longer you wait to complete your code review, the more concepts we covered, the more those concepts could come into a code review. And so I generally suggest, especially if you're new to coding, you come in a little sooner. And if you are somebody who has coding experience, you might come in a little later. That way we can cover some of those other concepts, like maybe asynchronous, which if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. Okay, other than that, this week you're going to watch content from that I created last semester, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon.